I appreciate it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome again. I'm delighted to be here on stage to share our story about Maersk. And that too in Copenhagen, where we have our headquarters, a place where vision, ambition, innovation really changed global supply chain as we know it today. We had often asked, hey, why is Maersk changing all the time? Why are you transforming? And I take the liberty of quoting the late John F. Kennedy, who said, change is the law of life. And those of us who only look to the past or the present are surely going to miss the future. This is who we are at Maersk. I will spend some time today talking about our company, the evolution of our shared services at Maersk, and I'll close with a few thoughts on how I'm thinking today about our tomorrow. I hope to share some insights on what all we do and our scope in the shared services, both for awareness but also to provoke some thoughts with all of you on something that you can take back to your own organizations. Trade is all around us. Where do you think the clothes that you're wearing come from? All those fancy shoes, I like them a lot, by the way. All this terrific sound system and the equipment here, they all come from someplace else. At Maersk, we help our customers move approximately 20% of the world's products, clothes, equipment, materials, medicines every day. It's a big responsibility, and we take that very seriously. We have both the ability, but also the duty and responsibility to make sure that we are conducting global trade in an inclusive, sustainable, and based on a foundation of trust. Together with all this, we handle a lot of critical and big infrastructure. We have those big Triple E vessels on the ocean. We have our terminals. We have logistics and warehousing facilities all over the world. And we manage that with technology and data to see how we can help our customer journeys. But we do all this with a purpose. And our purpose at Maersk is to improve life for all by integrating the world. At this point, I will show you a small video clip.
At the end of the day, it's all about what gets you up in the morning. What makes your life and work meaningful? What we do impacts everybody. Every day, everywhere. Because we do more than move the food, clothes, medicines, and goods we all rely on. We integrate the world. A world where an exchange of goods creates an exchange of culture, innovation, and trust. Where our customers and colleagues unlock opportunities and overcome challenges together. We are connected by purpose and guided by long-held values. Values forming the basic principle that we can be trusted, not just to enable global prosperity for all, but also to make it sustainable for future generations. That's what gets us up in the morning. Improving life for all by integrating the world.
Our purpose definitely resonates with me. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel inspired. Hey, what difference can I make today? Maybe not to the whole world, to my family, to my colleagues in office, to my society or the cities and countries that we operate out of. Having spoken about the company and our purpose, then I want to talk about how Maersk is leading the whole initiative around a carbon neutral future. We have firm commitments that we have made, a 72% net reduction in carbon emissions, net zero vessels on the sea by 2030, and net zero emissions from all our operations by 2040. These are bold and inspiring assertions, and we don't have our full act together on how we're going to get there. And I also wanted to leave this thought then with all of you that are you challenging and having bold assumptions in your organizations before all the I's are dotted and before all the T's are crossed? It's somewhat timely, but just last week, Maersk received the world's first vessel that works on green methanol. It was harbored at Tolboden, just a few miles away outside our Maersk headquarters. And I believe the Laura Maersk is sailing somewhere in the Baltic right now. I feel very proud that we are converting theory to reality one big step at a time. A little bit about Maersk. We are over 100 years old. I'm not sure if you know how many companies started more than 100 years ago who are no longer in existence. I don't know, we can Google it later. But what's inspiring really is that we have gone from strength to strength and we have facilitated global trade and become a global leader in supply chain today. Candice mentioned entrepreneurship, or maybe it was Jens. Mr. Moller in 1904 was the captain of a steamship company, and he wanted to expand, and he met with resistance, and he struck out on his own. That's how we started Maersk. We expanded our fleet over time, and we got into many, many more trade lanes. And one big event in supply chain that happened was what we call containerization. These are those big 40-foot containers that you see on the trucks, on rail lines, in the ports. It was conceived in the 50s. But Maersk took it to scale in 1975, and that really changed and revolutionized the shipping industry. Just the container and the barcode made it possible for any manufacturer anywhere in the world to access all markets around the globe. So that was a brief history on Maersk and our purpose and our ambition to lead the decarbonization effort across the world. Changing gears a little bit and coming to our shared services. Did the slide change? Yes, it did. It's not changing up there. Oh, OK. Got it. It works. At Maersk, I haven't been around for 2 decades, but we started our shared services very early in life, more than 22, 23 years ago, and that was a big surprise for someone like me because I come from the industry from inception. And a corporate taking that bold action so early in life when the industry was just about developing is super cool. We evolved over time. We started, like most of us, for cost arbitrage. But we realized very soon that there is a lot more than just saving cost. We moved to knowledge-based services, closing the books for our group entities, doing statutory filing in over 80 countries, doing voice and non-voice collections and the associated analytics. And all this was also very enriching to our talent. And in whatever time I have, you'll hear me talk about talent multiple times. And we were able to build and create and export this talent to different parts of Maersk from the shared services. We gradually moved to becoming business partners. Today, our shared service supports the entire Maersk global supply chain across our business process management systems. Whether it's sales or marketing, lead to agreement, order to cash, finance, closing the books, customer experience, or even human resources, our GSC engine is at play. I forgot to mention that we call our shared services the global service centers, and so you'll hear me use the abbreviation GSC sometimes. We always look at opportunities to see how we can get more value from the shared services for the company. We have some criteria that you heard Candice speak about, whether it's a location strategy, or it's time zone or language dependent, or it's just about the availability of global talent at scale. And based on that criteria, then we keep sending more and more and centralizing more and more work at our shared services. So what is our value proposition? Again, I think, Candice unfortunately covered most of my script. But if you ask the question, hey, why a shared service? I mean, why do we need to build a shared service? And I'm hoping there's at least a few of you in the audience who are starting out. I think we can roll out a dozen reasons, right? We can dole out 15, 20 reasons of why a shared service should exist. But I try to keep it simple, and I look at three pillars: the customer obsession pillar, the talent pillar, and the process pillar. I think with the numerous touch points that we have with customers, we are able to help them in their digital journeys. We are able to help them navigate better with us on their digital journeys. On talent, at the shared service, they have access to almost everything. They have access to end-to-end processes, the entire customer journey, leading large teams, solving complex problems. There's amazing amount of opportunity for our talent to strengthen their own employee value proposition as they spend time in our shared services. On the process side, I've always believed that any shared service, we have a neutral, an unbiased, and a cross-functional view to process design and execution. We don't have any axe to grind. We don't prefer Europe to APA to Latin America. And it's therefore our responsibility to ensure that standardization. So to me, there are many reasons, but these are some of the three pillars that I talk about for Maersk GSC. But to be able to add that value to a corporation, then we must have the optimal and the right footprint. And here again, Candice spoke about location strategy, and we are still work in progress at Maersk. We have not arrived. We're in 6 countries and 9 different centers. We have approximately 17,500 people in our shared service, which is well over 15% of our global headcount. And what I'm trying to create right now as we speak is what some people in the industry call one office. To connect the onshore work, the nearshore work, and the offshore or farshore work, covering front, middle, back office, visualize a circle around it, a logical process continuum, notwithstanding where they sit and notwithstanding reporting lines. With this in mind, just a couple of months back, we opened a new shared service in Mexico City with a spoke in Brazil. And the logic of doing exactly that was it'll service North America and Latin America on language, on time zone, on things that we could not do from our other centers around China, Philippines, and India. So what are some of our unique offerings? And like I said in the beginning, I hope I can provoke some questions in your own mind. as you go back to your organizations. There have always been some areas which have been a traditional no-no. I've been in this industry more than 25 years, and there's some things where the management teams always say, hey, lay off, we can't do this. And it could be because of customer sensitivity. It could be because of impact on sales. It could be because, hey, I need these guys close to me for decision making. We tried a little bit to break and bust some of these myths and got into a few of these areas that I want to share with you. And I don't know whether they'll be relevant in your environment, but for whatever it's worth. We sell directly from our shared service to small customers. We sell and cross-sell our products and services from the GSC to small customers that would not otherwise get covered by our sales force or our key account managers. The company experimented this with us 2 years ago, and it was a phenomenal success. And so amazing that not only as a shared service we were able to add new revenue to the top line, but we're also able to have many hundreds of small customers who would have otherwise struggled to navigate with a large company like us. So it was phenomenal. We support the entire tender contract management process from the GSC for our entire revenue base. So all the RFIs, the RFQs, responding to questions, we do that in collaboration with sales, and it has indeed also shown huge improvement in quality and consistency and in turnaround times. We handle the entire customer dispute process only from the shared service. We are authorized and empowered to speak directly to our customers of whatever size, understand their dispute. We are authorized to take a position as Maersk, and we are empowered to take financial decisions if required, like waivers, all from the shared service. Then on finance and accounting, I'll just be very brief because most of you do a lot of it, and we do everything in finance and accounting, from closing the books of accounts for our group entities, consolidating acquisitions, doing statutory filings in over 80 countries, helping them prepare their audit reports, and even the board meetings locally, and all done virtually. We have a center of excellence for tax. We support our treasury operations. And of course, I shouldn't forget our colleagues in analytics and business intelligence. We have a score of data scientists at the shared service. They work very closely with our headquarters. They work very closely with our regions to provide them with the real-time analytics and information that they need. We do competitor analysis the day the results are out and provide real-time information to senior management so that they can take the right decisions and choices. I hope some of these thoughts you can take back. And on the process side, of course, most of you would have subject matter experts, domain experts, people who have become true experts that you can export to the rest of your organization. At Maersk, some of the most senior global process leaders, people who own the entire horizontal process end-to-end, have come from the GSC. I told you I'll be speaking multiple times about IT and about talent. We have more than 3,500 people in data analytics and technology at the shared service. Our tech organization is leading the transformation in the industry. They're working with innovators. Their mantra is to have in-house technology excellence. Out of 6,000 people, about 3,500 in the shared service. And they're leading the new technologies and platforms that will create a more sustainable, inclusive, and digital environment, not just for Maersk, but I'm hoping also for the industry. We have digital marketing teams in the shared service who design the customer buying value proposition so it becomes easy for the customer to know what to access, what content to access, what is the right solution they're looking for based on their current needs. And then we create an environment where a lot of these we take to our physical assets. So it's not just about digital journeys, it's also about our physical assets. We use IoT technology on our vessels and our equipment so that we can track the cargo. We are piloting with something called auto gates in our terminals for truck in, truck out to reduce turnaround time, improve safety, reduce emissions. And the one that gets me really excited, almost like a kid, is something we call digital twins. These digital twins are taking complex physical assets and making a computerized model out of them. So visualize a terminal. And for those of you who have not seen one, it's acres of land with hundreds of cranes and hundreds of trucks and rail lines and obviously thousands of containers near the sea waiting to put the containers on the ship. This complex asset is then emulated into a computerized digital model, something like a video game, only more high-tech. And then that creates a playground for us to experiment, to do simulations, which give us the insights then on how to improve the real asset itself. So some really exciting stuff. We want to be a tech-driven company because we believe that that will be a true enabler for us to meet our vision of being a global integrator. I promise to speak about talent one more time. When we look at shared services and all the obvious benefits, many of which Candice already covered, there's some softer issues that we don't always give the right importance to. And building talent is very close to my heart. It has always been the top two priorities for me over the last half decade. I actually believe that doing this right is the difference between good and the great. Now, don't tell anyone that. What we have in the shared service, and what I believe is a big value add from a shared service, is to become a talent incubator. As organizations centralize more and more with the shared service, then they also lose that experience at headquarters or regions or wherever they're sending the work from. And it then should become incumbent upon us as shared service people to build that talent, to export that talent across our organizations. We already do that at Maersk, but that's not enough. What I also want to create is a model where we give opportunities for other managers around the company to experience the global shared service. I told our global CFO a few months ago, if you have a young finance executive who wants to become a CFO one day, how is she even going to get there? How will she get there if she hasn't seen how to do account recs or close the books or do capitalized assets or integrate acquisitions? We have to create a model where we give an opportunity for people to come short-term, long-term, that could depend, and experience, roll up their sleeves and see what we actually do in a shared service to be able to mature and qualify into as part of their career journeys. This one is very close to my heart, and I'm going to push it. We're only at the start of that journey. We encourage what we call coaching and agile methodology at our shared service at Maersk. We have become evangelists of the agile methodology. 95% of our shared service is trained on agile mindset, which is not true of the rest of Maersk. This really enables collaboration. It enables self-managed teams, cross-functional teams coming together, working on sprints to solve a customer problem. We now have our areas and regions who are asking us to come and train them. And that's making a huge difference to our talent, to our engagement and inclusiveness in the shared service as a culture. And as I touch on engagement, which I think is super important, I think we have built over time a culture of trust, friendship, camaraderie at the shared service where people really take their jobs seriously but not themselves. We encourage a culture of informality. Folks come in jeans to work, and that's perfectly okay with me. We like a healthy balance between working hard and smart, but also having time to let your hair down and have fun. I'm very happy that we've been able to break internal silos in our shared service between finance, commercial, supply chain disputes. If you get a chance to see a Gemba on our shared service floor, I think you'll be hard-pressed to identify who's the finance guy and who's the customer experience guy, because they're presenting a customer journey versus a sub-function view to what they do. So what's next for us? And I come to looking ahead, like I promised, some thoughts that I have, which is still developing. I want us to create a stable, efficient, but scalable shared service that provides true agility to the rest of Maersk. I want our frontline staff, our business leaders, to go out there and win business, do acquisitions, build customer trust and credibility, having the confidence and knowing full well that they have a shared service behind them that will always execute with excellence. I want us to be the testing ground for many things. I want us to be the testing ground for product launches, for MVPs on artificial intelligence, machine learning. We have the data, we have the people, we have the processes. It's a great place for organizations to use their shared service as a testing ground. I, of course, want our teams to be agile to dynamically changing needs of our customers, of our organization, and definitely of changing technologies. I want us to be, like I said, an importer and exporter of talent, but clearly I really want to create the best and most inclusive and diverse workforce. So then just leaving you with a couple of thoughts and counsel. We really need to encourage our teams to be customer-obsessed and employee-centric, and our managers to lead with empathy. We must accept change, and transformation is a way of life. And importantly, we should not be complacent. We should always be conscious and aware of when is the right time in our own environments to jump the next S-curve. But for now, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Mohit. Just an incredible journey, and you really have taken the centre office to the next level. And just your sheer scale, even supporting or at least serving customers directly from your shared services organisation. And I love the message around customer employee experience. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
Works really well for us.
Fantastic. Now, we're going to do questions slightly later in the studio. We need to make up a little bit of time.
Sure.
But thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.